When we listen to the radio, we never agree on the station.
Classic rock.
Hip-hop. Pop.
Guys, quiet. The one thing we do agree on, we all want an awesome free phone. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 free phones of your choice from brands you love, like Samsung, Motorola, and LG when you switch. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Free phone requires port. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.
Good morning. You are listening to Something Brewin, and this is Terry Vine. I'm here today with my amazing, focused, committed, not committable, just committed, co-host Tracie Mahan.
I'm laughing because you're like focused, and I'm sitting here looking around going, where's the dog? Oh, she means me. In that moment, I was not focused. Okay,
wow.
So confession time. My 6-month-old puppy, my 70-some-pound 6-month-old puppy is dragging stuff from all over the house into my office. So if you hear noise, that's what it is. And at that moment, I was trying to figure out what that other thing he drug in here, what it was. And I literally, if it wasn't embarrassing, I'd take a picture and share it. So there it is.
Oh, my goodness. So, well, Tracie and I both had the discussion. We woke up in the middle of the night and had difficulty falling back to sleep. So we might be a little bit of,
I think that's why people tune in, though, you know. Like, hey,
that could
wonder how much sleep Terry and Tracie got today. Let's tune in.
That's it. It says, I can honestly say last night, not enough.
Yeah, I know. And I was sitting here thinking, of all the mornings to have a coffee appointment, for me, coffee appointment, those are always fun. And then when I get home, I have another appointment, and then I'll have to go get kids from school, and then a nap is definitely out once they're home. So it's like, I couldn't even schedule in my nap, you guys.
Oh, no. Oh, and it's so important to take care of yourself. Aren't we always telling people about that online? You know, stop, breathe, take care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, yes, self-care is very important. And I think everybody is doing self-care right now, because I don't see you in our chat room, but Miss Pretty is over in the Blog Talk chat. So, what?
I said, where are you guys?
Oh,
are you
sleeping? Where are me? We do have Miss Pretty. Good morning, Miss Pretty. Yeah. She is in, and I get to watch the Blog Talk chat today because Cherry doesn't have access to a computer right now. So all of you guys need to remind me to keep checking that, because usually Cherry does. So there we have confession number 2.
Oh, my goodness. Well, let's do other reminders. First of all, you can join the chat on Cat Media 2 on Facebook. We do post there off and on all week long. If you put something in there on that chat, you may or may not get an answer. Depends on where we're traveling to, but more than likely you will. We will be taking calls around the half hour. And as soon as I pull up this picture and enlarge in the number, I'll tell you what number to call into, which is 646-668-8389. Again, that'll be around the half hour. And due to the fact we usually get quite a few callers, please limit it to one question and be precise, because then we can really focus in. And I loved it that I was on another show, and she made a point of saying that one of the things is this is our business. And so if you need an in-depth reading, go ahead and contact us and set us something up. On the radio, we're only able to skim the surface. There's things about in your life and about you don't want the whole world to hear online anyway. So if we don't hit the point completely, it isn't that we're not looking into it or going deep. There's just some of it that is best not to be shared there. Anyway, so there's that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And, we're talking about commitment. Well, we're talking about about walking your talk and being committed to you, really. And you're saying all this stuff about this is our business, and you know what, we do like to feed our children and keep roofs over our heads. So one of the it reminded me though of oh gosh, this has been a while ago, but it recently happened again, and it kind of cracks me up, and at the same time it's like, okay, I need to step into my boundaries again. But I had this client that said wanted to book an appointment. So I booked the appointment, and then this person sent me like a 5-paragraph email to explain the entire situation to me so that when we got to the appointment, we could focus on the appointment part and not the story. And I thought, do you not realize that you're still taking my time for me to read this 5-paragraph essay that you just sent me? And so one of our topics is going to be mindfulness and respect because it's like, you know, be mindful of the people that you're asking these things from. And, you know, that's still our time. Just because you send it in an email and we're not talking to you personally doesn't mean that it's not taking our time. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny because I'm like, yeah, that's where that's where I suffer. Is I need to be more strict with boundaries, and whenever I start to get lax in the boundaries, I get reminded. So yeah, it is our business. It's how we pay our bills, guys. So
yes, well, and you can look at this also is when we're speaking to the people as we're setting our boundaries, because if somebody's overstepping them, it's very likely that happens in their life to them also. So
good point.
As a learning experience, somebody mirroring what's happening in your own life. Are you setting boundaries in a way that are supporting who you are and honoring who you are? So many times when you send something out and you get a certain answer back, it's not to be rude or obnoxious. It's actually a lesson, an experience. We do this. We have so many mirrors in our own lives. But, you know, when we discuss the topic of commitment, I looked at it in my own life, you know, the areas that, and I went back through my storyline, my history, and the different times when things got difficult, and it was easy for me to bail. And I did. And when I bailed, though, I didn't complete whatever the lesson, the experience was. And I attracted right back to me the same type of scenario. And they did it not to be, to keep me off balance or to make it hard in my life, but so that I would actually look deeper into everything and commit to me and absolutely finish the experience so I got the whole message in it. When we commit to ourselves, and that goes into caretaking, it goes into supporting, it goes into honoring, considering we're all one, we are doing the same for each and every person out there.
So true. And so I'm going to make a little announcement here because we do have callers calling in. So if you have questions for us, please press the number 1, and it puts a little question mark by your number, so we know that you are a caller that we're going to be picking up here in a little bit when we start doing the readings. So if you have a question, press the number 1. So I know that you're going to be asking us something brilliant. Okay.
Yes, that's it. So, and this is something I posed the question I posed to Tracie also, is look where she and I would be if we had not stayed with the commitment, or maybe not look at, but wonder where Tracie and I would be if we had not stayed with our commitment to continue this show. Because there were several times that came up in because working together, we have different personalities, and and there's conflicts at times. Very few, just putting that out there so people know. But it's that learning thing, and well, if you stop and think of it, gosh, how many years have we been doing a show together?
Is it about 3 now? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
And we've had, 2 or 3 conflicts, so that's not bad at all. compared to some people. But if we would have gave up then, we would have, actually bailed out of something that supports who we are in so many different ways. And we would have bailed on sharing our messages with each and every person who listens to us and shining some light into others' life and allowing them to shine their light right back to us. So I'm really glad we stayed committed. Not being committed.
Not to being committed, but staying committed. And, we did have to walk our talk during that journey because, we would tell other people when your mirrors are coming up, stick with it, hang in there, blah, blah, blah. Well, then our own mirrors were coming up with each other, and, we had to look at those. And there were times where both of us, I believe, wanted to just be like throw in the towel, and the other one would keep us going, and then we would take turns. So, but you know what? Gosh, I look back at that, and I'm so grateful that we hung in there and we worked out the differences or worked out whatever struggle was being tossed at us. Like when we were with Harmony Radio, that shut down, and so it was like, well, do we keep going or do we just let this end? And, making decisions on that. And so, we had lots of things to do along the way. Well, so I had the opposite effect in the call queue that I wanted. I said, hey, if you have a question, press the number 1. It puts a question mark. Well, now all the question marks are gone. So I don't know. Maybe no one has questions. So if you do have a question and you are a caller, press the number 1 so we know there's a question. Anyways, hey, let's go to what you just posted in the chat room. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's talk about you for a minute. Yeah.
Well, Spirit sends us out in a certain way. And I followed the urgings of Spirit all through this particular journey. Sometimes struggling with it, sometimes kicking and screaming, yet invariably I do. And it takes me to exactly where I'm meant to be. And this year, Spirit really guided me into putting together retreats, and always with another person. I love that. I love sharing the energy. I love sharing each person's abilities. And, the old saying, where 2 or more gather. And the energy is exponential. And so what I posted was the new write-up for the Hawaiian Experience Retreat that Vicki Pruitt and I are putting on this coming February on the Big Island of Hawaii. It's all about personal empowerment. It's claiming the self and seeing the magic in life. It's moving through those old patterns and behaviors that you aren't even aware are there, that block you from actually claiming yourself and living the life you choose to live. It's reminding you have choice in your life, that you're not just, just tossed around by whatever comes in. And so we did our first retreat in Hawaii this last January, February. And I'll tell you what, it was the most magical experience. Pele worked with us or gifted us, let's say, with her magic while we were at the volcanoes. The dolphins appeared in huge numbers while we were out swimming, 50 to 75 dolphins all at once. And every morning we'd get up and we would work with things and we'd go off and enjoy the beauty of the island as we integrated in whatever it was that we had experienced that morning. So there's some time for the early bird special still left if you sign up before December 15th, I believe it is. And you get a discount on the price, and it's a limited spacing. So if you are interested, this is the time to really commit to it. And this is all about committing to yourself, the betterment of your life, and bringing freedom in. Now, did you expect it to get that lengthy, Tracie?
You were committed to telling about it.
I was. I want people to know the magic in this. Oh, my gosh, the wonderment and the magic. Spirit was with us in ways that was phenomenal this year. Anyway.
Yeah. So
now, what is it
I'm gonna tell people.
Do?
I'm gonna tell people what a brilliant, wonderful, amazing Christmas gift idea this would be. To gift it either
retreat?
to yourself. Yes, the retreat. Either gift it to yourself or to a loved one, or take a loved one with you. What a neat idea for a gift. So take a look at that retreat. There you go. Now, for me,
sweetie. Thank you.
The big thing I have going on is the Patreon page, which I have a few new people that join me over there, and just trying to get the word out there about what the Patreon page is, because that seems to be the biggest question or confusion as to what is this. And it is a page. It's set up a lot like Facebook in the way that it's viewed, but it is a spot where I can put my meditations, hypnosis, interactions with Patreons. Got face-to-face videos on there with people. Some of them are patrons. Some of them are some spiritual teachers that I know that have come in and agreed to do these little videos with me, and they're kind of fun to do. And I'm going to prompt Cherry to do one with me as well.
Ooh.
And so when you're by a computer, and we're going to have some fun. But what it is it's an easy way for you guys to get access to some really cool things for very little money. $2 a month will get you meditations and angel updates and archive shows, whatever that might end up being over there. And $5 a month gets you all of that, plus the face-to-face interviews with spiritual chat. And $8 a month gets you the hypnosis. And I've got several different things going on out there. Sorry, I'm distracted because now the dog's in the kitchen doing something very noisy. So sorry about that. He is busy this morning.
Goodness.
But I have a lot of good feedback so far from the ones that are on the Patreon page for the hypnosis that is up there. I have removing the blocks. I have weight loss. And here's the beautiful part. If you have a request, tell me. I'll probably make it for you and put it on the page. And it's only $8 a month. To have a one-on-one session with me is, and that's still available and has its benefits, because it's personalized. But, a session of hypnosis is $120. And in January, I'm being prompted by Spirit to raise my prices. So that might happen. Yeah. So
I was going to say, folks, this is one of the things she's talking about is I know other hypnotherapists that charge one heck of a lot more. And I actually was gifted with one of her meditation or hypnosis sessions. It's perfect, and it's about weight loss. And so it's like, wow, if there's something out there, because the subconscious mind is how we are able to change old patterns, old behaviors, and move through blocks. And so this is fantastic. So see what wonderful salesmen we are. We got to plug this. But it's true,
Yeah. Well, then, and when I get enough people over there, I'm going to start doing some live forum type things. Like I'll put a link to Zoom, and we can all go over and for an hour on Zoom, we can talk about things that everybody would like to work on, and then I'll specialize something around that. I mean, I have some great ideas that I would like to implement. I just need enough people over there to do it. So, tell your friends.
Well, this is a commitment to self. Joining this is a commitment to enriching your life, embettering your life. I don't know if there's such a word as embettering, but it sure sounded good to me at the moment. It is now.
We're going to embetter
now. For the betterment of our life, it gives back to you. Because when you were talking, something came into my mind, and there's a lot of people that keep the television on all day long in the background or radio in the background. And it brought my attention to what they're not aware of. As you're keeping your conscious mind busy, you're actually pulling in those messages from that background noise, and it's strengthened in the patterns of your life. It is placing suggestions, it's placing behaviors, it's placing patterns right there, embedding it in your mind. That's
and
what
you better
hypnosis.
believe that the people that make commercials know that, and they know how to get to the subconscious mind. When I learned, when I took my course in hypnotherapy and I learned more about that, I couldn't watch TV. I would get infuriated when the commercials would come on, and I could see where they were using the patterns and the techniques to get to the subconscious mind of the listener.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the visual to go with it. And so you're getting hypnotized all day long to buy products, to get on medications, to get a noisy puppy. Oh,
Yes.
that would have been my hypnotic suggestion, to get a noisy puppy that wants to chew on things and wants to sit with me. So anyways, but yeah, it's all day long. So turn off those radios unless it's music. So yeah,
it's so funny. Our show kind of meanders off its path the way it likes to go, and so we're talking about hypnosis. I didn't realize how easy it is to be hypnotized, even in a large group of people, until I was with my late husband and another couple in Las Vegas, and we went to see a hypnotherapist. And within minutes, I felt myself going under, and the only thing that kept me from actually going fully under is I started thinking of how much fun my husband would be poking at me if I would have been one of those people that ended up on the stage. This happened in less than 5 minutes. So can you imagine if you're doing something, say you're preparing a meal or something, you've got that information playing in the background, how quickly it is getting embedded into your subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, that being said, you can do the same thing with positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
And keep in mind the Vegas stuff that you see or stuff on television that is called stage hypnosis, completely different from what I do. And that's something that came up this week. It's not this conversation, but it's something that came up this week. So it's worth bringing up that, the way you see hypnosis being done on television is not what we're doing. And so, the stage hypnosis is much different, and it doesn't have lasting effects. You're looking for lasting life changes, and we do that a little differently. Yeah. So.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, you asked for a reminder. I'm going to remind if there's anybody with a question in the chat room on Blog Talk, just out of my old curiosity.
Well, we've got Miss Pretty saying, "Hi, sweetie," because I said hello, because that was fun. And so, loving the energy. We are having a very quiet morning. Everybody's doing their self-care and they're hitting snooze, and that's okay because they'll find us in the archives. But you know what? Our call queue is filling up very fast. And again, I want to remind people, press number 1. I still have a couple people that are in the queue that don't have a question mark, and I really would hate to miss you if you actually have a question. So let's make sure we press the number 1. It will show us that you have a question. So, and that's coming up in a few minutes here. We're going to start taking those calls. Mm-hmm. And so, that'll be fun.
I'm going to go back to our topic about being committed, not just talking the talk, but walking your talk. And so it's very important for you to be conscious of what it is that is important to you in your life, what it is you want to be the example for. And if you find yourself giving other people information that applies to you and you're not following it, it is time for you to actually implement that in your own life. It's time for you to walk your talk. And that's one of the things that throws people off balance now and then, because it's easy to talk about it. Our challenge is actually living it. Yet if we want to be an example for others, we take and give more information by living that example. And that's how we even change our own lives, as we choose to better our lives, to claim more of who we are. when we're really present with ourselves, present in our lives, we're able to implement what supports us. We're able to look at what's held us back. We're able to go into those places we've been afraid to go into that live deep inside of us and clear those. And then we're able to claim the beauty that we are and actually create a life that reflects that. And that's what you share with everyone else. And it is the how-to. Doesn't mean it's not challenging. How many people think, because and this is something I know Tracie has happened with her too, is the moment that you start walking a spiritual path and you start doing the work Tracie and I do, some people put you up on a pedestal going, oh my gosh, you're like, that's so easy. You've got it all. And they forget that we're still in the human experience and that we have our own processes, we have our own lessons. So
yeah, it's like, life got easy. What?
I remember when I went to my first holistic fair, and I thought, oh, look at all of these people. They're so aware. They're so spiritual. And then I started seeing their clay feet. And it was remembering, yes, we are spiritual beings, but we're still walking the human experience. And it's having compassion for that. We came down with certain lessons and experiences. Or
there's times where I sit there and go, the good old days when the blinders were on.
That's one of the things. Every time I get into that, look what they're doing to me. My group just laughs. Really? They're doing that to you? You think that? Really?
Yeah. Yes,
so
and it's funny because there will be tough times and struggles and whatnot along the way. We're still learning our lessons as well. And I've had days where I'm just like, why am I still doing this? It's just, there can be times that are really hard to get through. And I have to tell you guys, you can't go backwards. So you can't unknow it. And so, and looking at it, I wouldn't want to. But there's times where we go through some hard stuff ourselves, or our own shifts and transitions. And in my personal experience, when I go through a shift, everything else seems to just slow down. And I know that that's Spirit's way of bringing the shift in for me so that I'm available to just be in that shift. But I have to remind Spirit that I live in a world that requires me to have material things and food and, I need a roof over my head. I need something to come in. And so, and it's definitely can have its challenges around that kind of stuff. So definitely. So when you said life gets easier, I'm like, wait, is that coming up? Or is it?
Well, it allows us to look at what's there and our part in it. But again, it's, with this monetary thing, there's a whole belief system wrapped around the monetary and the work we do, and there's many people believe that it is something that is to be gifted. And in earlier times, that was the case. But the people who were the seers, the healers, they were supported by their community. They didn't want for food, for housing, for clothes. Well, this is a different time and a different experience, and we're walking through those old messages and beliefs that we've lived, and allowing it also to take the idea of what money has become for men. And also remember its energy, and that we stop the flow of it with some of our beliefs around it, deserving issues, the idea it's limited. There's so much attached to that. But money, like everything else, is pure energy. And if we open our hands and receive it with ease and let it support us, and then let it flow through the other hand out to all others. And there's an exercise I actually do that uses that type of idea, and people feel the energy and the movement around it, but they can also feel the blocks they have to receiving it. So, And so,
And one of the things I will add to that is, again, I'm going back to the where did life get easier? It did get easier in the fact that where I used to not have faith, now I have faith. And I know that I will always be taken care of. And whatever crosses my path, there's also exactly what I need to deal with it. So I do have faith now where faith might have been a little harder to find 20 years ago or whatever, but, faith is a whole nother show. So
that's right.
I'll leave it at that. But yeah, it does make it easier when we walk in faith that everything is taken care of, and that, even if one of the things I have noticed in my personal journey is, and it kind of holds true, is that when things look like they're at their worst is when they're working the hardest behind the scenes to make that shift or transition. And if you think about it, it really pushes you to do whatever that next thing is. Even if you don't know what it is in the moment, it does show up, and then you're ready to do it because you've been pushed. And so that's something to think about too.
An old training with mankind in this particular life cycle is to create change. Many of them create situations, situations in our lives that are so blasted uncomfortable, we have no other choice but to change something. Yet we can put it out there that we see the next step, and we do this easily. We live in this, this belief system of limitations and fears, and you've got to grasp this, you've got to hold on to this, you've got to, because. Yet if we move with the universal flow of life, we're actually supported. Yet we're gaining our momentum there, and that is really good. So when I was on the Big Island, one of the first times, and it was my lesson island. It is my lesson island, but this particular experience was, I was getting some really big lessons. And I had been swimming with the current of the ocean, and all of a sudden the Hawaiian voices came in and said, swim against the current. And so I began that. And then all of a sudden they're saying, and that is the way of mankind. They struggle with the currents of life instead of moving easily with the flow of all universal life. So when you find yourself in struggle, stop and pay attention to the pull of the energies. There's some resistance going on. So because they're showing, and then there was a release. So if you're finding yourself struggling in your life, take a moment to become quiet and ask which is the area or the way to be able to move with the flow of life's current so that you reach your higher potential more easily or reach the outcome you're choosing. Which makes me think, I wonder if I can find this, because this was something that has nothing to do with commitment, but it was something I absolutely adored. So you talk for a minute while I look, okay, Trace?
Okay, but we are at the halfway mark, and so we will need to start taking callers. So let me know when you're ready for that.
We can go ahead and do that, and I'll get back to the other, so that's fine, too. It just was being grateful, for being in gratitude for what's gifted, or not gifted to us, but that what we receive. So anyway, go ahead.
Yes, gratitude. That was another thing that came up this week. There were so many theme possibilities. Okay, so caller 3079, you are on the air. Who are we speaking with?
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I had a question about deja vu.
I'm gonna stop you first. We need to know who we're talking to and where you're from.
Oh, this is Elizabeth, and I'm from Forest Grove.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi. So I recently, last week, experienced this really strong episode of deja vu. It was like this guy was talking, and it was like, whoa, and it hit me, and I could almost tell what words he was coming out before they came out of his mouth. So I wanted to understand, what is deja vu? What's the phenomenon about? And was there any significance to that event?
Okay. Yeah, you want me to take that, Jerry?
You go right ahead first. Okay.
Okay.
I will go second.
A lot of different theories around deja vu. So one of them would be all time is happening and existing at the same time, and so there is an overlap of this experience. I've had a lot of deja vu. My entire trip to Hawaii this year was like a deja vu. So yeah, there's different ways to look at that. There's what they call the Mandela effect, if you want to look that up. And it's just about a ripple in time where one thing changes and it changes everything. Or your time is overlapping the other time. You were asking if there was a significance for experiencing that, and it does feel like there is. You know, a lot of us, everyone, I believe, has deja vu. Sometimes you can see something in a dream, and then later it plays out. I think it's Spirit's way of letting us know that we're multidimensional and that we have gifts and abilities, and to recognize them starts to help to develop them. And Elizabeth, have we met? I'm thinking I know who you are. So,
yes, we have.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure I'm talking to the person I think I am. And I know you have gifts. So, you know, it's about recognizing what are the gifts, being able to know that that's one of the ways of saying, hey, you know what, if you spend some time looking at something possibly that's going to happen in the future or something like that, that you have a gift or an ability to tap into that, because time is, as I hate to sound so cliche, but time is an illusion. And so you can move your energy through time and space and pick up information. I kind of feel like that's the message that you were supposed to receive, is that you have a gift to be able to move through that. And I'll let Cherry jump in.
I've got to confirm that for her, because that's exactly what I was saying. Is time is non-existent outside of a physical planet. And it was as if you were there in that time and space with this person. And this person actually contracted with you for this particular meeting here and then, just to remind you that you're not stuck in any one point of time. And it did show you flowing through time and then back to the moment of the conversation. So you had been there, moved forward, heard the whole and saw the whole, exchange, and then came back. And it's just reminding you you're not stuck. And that's what that particular point was all about. It was, to remind you also of magic. It's many times in our lives we think we're stuck. We think we're at a standstill. Yet Spirit comes in and says, and in those people from our soul groups come in and help and says, no, watch this, you're not stuck. And it reminds you of this. And it is one of your abilities to be able to recognize that time is linear. It is not, and it's on the physical planet, but it's not all there is. You're not locked into it. Or linear time is not what you're locked into. There are times when I'm talking that, the message is coming in and the words are playing in my mind, and they'll throw themselves in different places and spaces, and there's a purpose for that. And that's due to the vibration each word carries, and that's important too. So you look anywhere that you feel as if you're stuck, and remind yourself you're not, that you're always in movement. And then start focusing on what it is you're choosing to create in your life and bring that in. Okay?
And that's one of the things why I was listening. Elizabeth and everyone else listening, we're supposed to start playing with this a little bit more in our manifestations. So just like you felt like you had already been there before, start doing your manifestations. And what a great time, the new year coming up here shortly, and where everybody does their vision boards and New Year's resolutions. Start seeing yourself doing something that you would like to be doing, and then watch it be created and manifest. And like I was telling you, the Hawaii trip was like one great big deja vu. One of the trips that I had taken, I kept seeing myself on a beach, and I knew what hotel we were going to be in. So I pulled all that up on Google and whatever, and just kept visualizing myself standing on that beach, listening to the waves, feeling the air, and taking myself through all the sensories. And when I actually got to that beach, it felt exactly like everything that I had put into place. And I just recreated that moment. And so play with it, you guys. Find something you would like to create and manifest. Play with this technique and put it out there. And then it's going to be really cool when you catch up to it. So, okay. All right, Elizabeth,
Okay.
how was that?
Great, thank you.
Now you have work to do.
Yes, now you do.
Always it seems.
Yes. Okay, sweetie. Thank you for calling in. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
So, Tracie, I did find what it was I was looking for, and I do want to put this out here because it is such a wonderful expression, and I loved it. It is because we're many times putting out and asking for, and it comes to us in a form that's greater than we could have imagined. And I have a friend, Juliana, who when she manifests with ease, it just amazes me. I sit back and go, oh, my gosh. Anyway, when she receives, she goes, thank you, as my wishes granted far exceed my wishes wished. So remember,
I like
if you're
that.
putting it out, yes, let it be more than you ever dreamt it could be. So we have another caller, Sweetie?
We have a lot more callers. So here we go. Caller 5391, you're on the air. Who are we talking with, and where are you calling from? And we'll give you a second. You might be on mute. So, all right, 5391, you're on the air. All right, well, we'll have to come back to you. Okay, going to 5252, you're on the air. Who are we talking with, and where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Katie from New York.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
New York.
That's a
Hi.
wonderful name.
Cherry and I need to go to
Thank
New
you.
York. We get a lot of callers from New York. We're going to have to go there and say hi to everybody.
Yes,
Freezing.
we are.
Bring your Uggs. Bring your Uggs.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way it is here, too.
Or maybe we'll come in the spring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Katie,
That'd be
what is
better.
your question? What's your question, Katie?
I'm kind of in the process of wanting to change my life, and I want to actually become a motivational coach, and I also want to do desserts and things like that, and chocolate and food. But I need a regular job, like a support system, meaning like income
Cherry's
and things
grabbing
like that.
this one. I can tell it.
So,
Oh yeah, I'm all over it.
So it's like I keep getting temp jobs that don't really last long and don't really pay a lot, and I'm like, why? But I'm just wondering if I'm going to get some kind of permanent or steady job soon, to help me live, and then I could do my businesses on the side. I'm just wondering what's going on with me.
Oh, I love your question. It's all about committing to you. Now, as soon as I started to say that, my throat shut down, and so there's a part of you that has trouble voicing what is perfect for you. Yet I want to start with, and you did notice, Tracie, I jumped in because you knew I was all over this.
You're all over it.
I am all over it. The word police is right there because you're going, I'm trying to and kinda. No,
And
none of that's
Yeah,
all of this. None of that's allowing you to claim what it is you want in your life and what you choose to have in your life. It's keeping you hesitant. So it's very important for you to look at where you're not supporting your belief in yourself about creating the business. And it's interesting that you're really stretching yourself so thin. Motivational speaker, and working with chocolate, and both are time consuming.
Yeah.
And then having another job on the side, plus you have a home life. So this is what I get. It's very important to you, for you, to choose either the motivational or the chocolate worker. And I get the motivational. It's much more who you are. and really commit to that, but see how you place it in your life first and begin claiming. You know, again, this shows it's lovely for you to call in at, because it's about commitment, committing to yourself, walking your talk, not just talking it, but actually applying it in your life and walking it. To be a motivational speaker, to bring guidance to people, is to actually put yourself in place and do it. And that's what you're being called to do. It does show that, yes, once you quit scattering yourself so far out there, you do have a full-time job come in, one in which it feels like you have people that you're over, that you're managing a department of some sort, and it is good salary. And that's the way it's putting it, salary, not just to pay, you know, an hourly, but a salary. And there's some potential for commission. This is all kind of coming in as I'm talking to you. But really commit to you and your dreams first. That is important. That's what I keep getting. And know that you've been putting the stepping stones in this year, and it even cements in further next year. Trace, what do you get?
Well, Katie, I have to tell you, you don't have to motivate me to eat chocolate. So therefore, your job just got a lot easier. Okay?
That's true. That's true.
Right.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that one. You guys were all throwing out motivation and chocolate at the same time, and I'm like, who needs motivated to do that? No.
That's breakfast. That is breakfast.
Right. So, yeah, there definitely, I was looking at the words just like Cherry was, where you're putting out there, I'm creating this life change, but I need a job, and I'm trying this. And so the words were jumping out at me just as loud as they were at Cherry. So my advice would be, choose your words that support the outcome you desire, because it's carrying a huge vibration with you right now. And it definitely shows that there's some soft spots in that belief system of, can I create it? You know, and yet the verbiage is saying, I don't think so, or there's fear around it, or whatever it might be. And again, I'm going to say, if you want to go over to my Patreon page, I do have Removing the Blocks hypnosis over there, and it works on removing the fear around being successful. So that is something to consider. It's patreon.com/Tracie Mahan, and you can go check it out. If it feels like a fit for you, that's great. And, you know, it's a way to get support like that for a very, very tiny price. So, but I listened to it last night. The nice part about creating the page is I'm also benefiting from the page. So, you know, it's definitely taps into fear and different things that are getting in the way. And your power chakra you're getting there. You're stepping in your power. And like Cherry said, next year is even more powerful for you. We just need to take a breath and visualize that happening, because it's all there for you. It's all waiting to just fall into place like little puzzle pieces. So you're there, Katie, and I want to eat.
Okay. You want to eat chocolate?
You want to know something really funny? Even though it does not apply to you, Katie, but I have a granddaughter, Caitlin, and we call her Katie, and I sent her a text message yesterday that said, you know, you really need to go to culinary school.
Yeah. Like, you know, it just makes me so happy. Like, it's just, it makes me feel like a kid.
There
I just love it.
Well, you know, this goes out to Katie's all over the world and everybody else. It's allow yourself to believe in you. Many times you are focused on what you've been told you cannot do instead of understanding all that you are capable of doing. Believe in you first, and you will find you move in the direction that supports your life. So, there we go, guys. There's the higher message. Okay, did everybody go away on me?
No.
Okay. It's like all of a sudden there's dead silence, and I'm going, is anybody there? When we go into the channeled messages, there's times that we lose connection in the electronic world. So I'm wondering, though, what happened to Tracie? Can you hear her?
Okay. I had to call in. I don't know what happened to me either. Did it help that I brought in a caller?
Yes, it did. Again,
Okay.
the channeled message came in, and it was all of a sudden everything was gone.
Oh, yeah, weird.
So that is weird. We should be used to this by now.
You guys can hear me now, though, right?
Yeah, I can. I'm
Okay.
hoping everybody else can too. And it seemed that Katie was still there. Are you still there, Katie?
Oh, I think I ended up muting Katie and bringing on a different caller.
Oh, okay, great. Who do we have on the line?
Hello.
Hi. Who are
My name
we
is
speaking with?
Sandy.
Hi,
Hey, Sandy.
Where are you calling
Sorry for
from?
the chaos.
I'm calling from Atlanta. I heard something happen about a muting.
So you're calling from Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay. What is your question?
My question is, will my life get a little bit less chaotic and run a little bit smoother here pretty quick?
There's some astrology at play here. So if you don't follow astrology, you might find a website that would help, because that was the first thing that came in. Is there something in your chart that's creating this feeling that you're going through right now? And it does feel like it shifts. The first week of December is what it feels like for me. So things will start to feel a little bit better. I don't know if that's the ramp. Sherry, I'm going to let you take that while I go look up the full moon and the new moon, because it feels like it's something to do with the moon cycle.
Okay. I'm going to step in here, Sandy. One of the things to remember is we create by our thoughts, beliefs, and old patterns. Now, we send out energy, and many times when something starts and we attach to it, say a chaotic situation, we attach to it, we will attract in another situation just like it over and over again, only it gets worse. So what I want you to do is look at what this particular chaos, what the message is in it for you. Where is it similar to earlier times in your life that you have gone through? Because it's as if I want to use the word reclaiming you. It's okay to let everybody else fall to the wayside and caretake for their own lives. It's as if you're trying to pull in everybody's stuff and you're putting yourself off to the side and your life's being too disheveled. It's okay to set loving boundaries. It's okay to say time out. It's okay to say it's time for me to take care of me. And then focus on yourself, because this is where you're being guided, is to stop and look at what's important to you and choose the direction that you want to go for you. You are not helpless in your life. Tracie and I talk often about being on our spiritual path and having the understanding that life just doesn't happen to us. You know, it's to look at our part in it. And I'll use an example in my own life. Is shortly after my husband died, all money stopped. It was just anything that was supposed to move financially stopped. In my mind, I went into this, look what they're doing to me. Well, for me, that gets to last about 2 seconds, because I was woke up out of a dead sleep with a voice in my bedroom saying, you know, life doesn't just happen to you. And by the time the second sentence was there, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed, and it goes, you are a participant in your life. What part are you playing? For me, I had to look at this, and it came up with the word guilt, and I had to look into all of that, and then everything started flowing forward. So when you look at you are a participant in your life. It's not just happening to you. what role are you playing? So look at all emotional aspects of this, where you're not supporting yourself, old emotional wounds and traumas that are there. Go in and allow yourself to heal. And you notice I'm going on, and you're getting a little more than some people would, because I can hear Tracie typing in the background, still looking at the moon cycle.
No, I got it. I'm ready whenever you're.
Okay, I'm ready. There you go. I kept hearing that keyboard go.
Yeah, I forget how loud that can be. Sorry about that. Okay, so the full moon is December 3rd, and that would be that first week of December. And the other thing I was looking up, if I could communicate correctly, is the Mercury retrograde, which also starts in December and is in full swing by December 3rd. So if you're not familiar with Mercury retrograde, either listen to the archive so you can remember what it is that we asked you to look up, or write it down, because I want you to go look up what Mercury retrograde does. It feels to me like this Mercury retrograde, like you're already kind of going through the communication stir-up, the setbacks, the feeling like you're on pause or stuck or whatever. Those are all things that can happen during a Mercury retrograde. So in this particular December retrograde, it feels like you might actually feel like you're finally breaking free and moving forward. So, but in any case, it's always good to kind of know what a Mercury retrograde does, because it's going to be going on all through December. And so for anyone that's not familiar with it, please go look it up, because it's going to help you get through December, because you can go, oh, I know why that's happening, or, oh, okay, this makes more sense because we're in Mercury retrograde. I know why I feel this way. It for me, it's a helpful thing, and it takes a lot of the frustration out of that time where things feel like they might be stuck or not moving in the direction you want them to just yet. And then for other people, the Mercury retrograde is actually when things start happening. So it's kind of an interesting time, but it just feels like something going on astrologically for you. So look up your sign, find out what's going on, not just your horoscope on the newspaper, but go find a good site. I like to go to astrologyzone.com. She does a monthly report for each sign. If you go to astrologyzone.com, that might be a good spot. Sherry, do you have any that you go to that you might want to throw out there?
Yes, Cafe Astrology, because it actually breaks down the monthly report, is because planets are in different areas at different times, and so some of them they can't be specific to each person in a report. They are more generalized. And Cafe Astrology, they break it up into 3 cycles within the month of this, or within the sign of when if you were born between these dates and then these dates and these, and it'll be a little clearer. But Tracie, I have to confirm what you were saying about the Mercury retrograde for Sandy, is because everything that was coming through in the session that or the information I just gave her was about revisiting and reviewing old patterns, old tapes. And that's what Mercury retrograde does too, is we go back and all of those re's are there. Redo, revisit, recycle, reevaluate, and all of that. Yeah. And then release.
And for anyone familiar with Mercury retrograde, we are in the shadow of it actually right now. It is if you understand what the shadow of it means, the stuff is already happening. And so we're in it right now. It actually looks like the shadow kind of stepped in yesterday. And so just be prepared for things to kind of be in their Mercury. All right. Anyway, Sandy, hopefully that was helpful.
I think it was, because what I've done is I got my dad's guardianship conservatorship and got a hold of the trust and everything else, and now my brother thinks he has been pulling. And I think I've kind of secured it up where I can kind of rest a little bit and not worry about what my brother's trying to take,
Yeah.
And also the game's going on, the general dynamics between my father, my brother, and me, I think will cease or change.
It does. Right now, you have a lot of emotions at play and old sibling rivalry and that sort of thing. Just see it in the way that you want it to come out. See it being much easier and much clearer, and that each and every person lets go of the emotions they have attached to. And that's going to allow it to work out much easier for you. So I sure hope all of that helps.
Well, yeah, it does, but what's happening with my brother is he's a narcissist, and he wants to win at all costs, and it's really caused a lot of difficulties. And I just wonder.
Now, see the outcome you want. Let go of your brother's personality and all of this, because there's always an agreement when we have people in our life. We ask them to be in and play a certain role, the same as they ask us to be in theirs. So instead of handing power off to the brother, pull yourself back, feel the essence of who you are, and see the direction and outcome you choose.
Okay.
Become detached from the emotion. That's going to assist you. And don't look at it as win or lose. Look at it as I'm completing this cycle. Okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank
All right,
you.
well, our show actually already went off air. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute you, Sandy. Thank you, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and give our information one more time, and then we'll go ahead and end the show. And appreciate everybody that's listening to the archives, because you're the ones hearing this right now.
Yes.
So, Terry, how do people reach you?
Go to CherryDivine.com or go to Cherry Divine LLC on Facebook and become my friend. I'm making it short and sweet. That way I have a lot of things going on. I have retreats to sign up for 2018, and it's all about supporting and being empowered. So see you there, guys. And Tracie?
Yes, go check out the website. My website is TracieMahan.com, TracieMahan, like Nancy.com. And find me over on Facebook, Tracie Mahan, CHT. And, of course, my Patreon page. I'm going to plug it one more time. Okay, you guys, have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again next week with something fascinating to talk about. And like Cherry said, we make up subjects, but do we stick to them? We don't know.
No, we do. We go the way we're meant to go.
We do. All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Panera now delivers, so you can order good, clean food right to your office, or door, or porch, or backyard, or front yard, or apartment, or dorm, or castle, or shop, or worksite, or wherever. For lunch, dinner, and everywhere in between. Click the banner to order or visit PaneraBread.com. Participating locations only. Panera. Food as it should be.
When we listen to the radio, we never agree on the station.
Classic rock.
Hip-hop. Pop. Guys, quiet. The one thing we do agree on, we all want an awesome free phone. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 free phones of your choice from brands you love, like Samsung, Motorola, and LG when you switch. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included in phone price. Free phone requires port. Excludes numbers on the T-Mobile network. See store for details and terms and conditions.